I'm sure I don't need to tell you what this is. Most of you probably own one of these by now. I am kidding, of course. There are only two good reasons to own this. Either you deal with a lot of spicy rocks, or you believe buying random electronics is a better retirement strategy than 401k. Being clearly part of the latter, I was recently contemplating my life choices and decided to crack open this GMC-300 Geiger Counter to rummage around like a raccoon in a trash can of obsolete components. Because let's face it, self-reflection is overrated and voiding warranties is my specialty. Once inside, I noticed an unpopulated 4-pin connector with suspiciously familiar notation GRTV. Now, if you spend more than 10 minutes tinkering with electronics, you'd instantly recognize this as a serial port. And if you haven't, well, congratulations on having a social life. Naturally, I proceeded to spend an embarrassing amount of time searching the internet for documentation about this mysterious port. And I found exactly one forum thread where someone casually mentioned that this serial port isn't actually used for anything. Well, clearly this wasn't good enough for me. So, using my superior detective skills of a boiled egg, I decided to solder a header and see if I could make it work while permanently damage it in the process. Honestly, I would have uploaded the video regardless. Now to the soldering. Today I'm using my fancy $25 Beinsel soldering iron because nothing says professional electronics work like spending less on your soldering iron than on your weekly caffeine addiction. I'm not using flux today because either I'm lazy or cheap. Pick whichever one aligns with your worldview the most. And here we are with some perfectly adequate solder joints if you're a chimp with Parkinson's. Thankfully, in electronics tinkering, solder joints are judged on a sliding scale where my college dropout status counts as professional experience, right? Right. To communicate with our freshly soldered header, I'm using a USB to UART adapter that cost me less than my toothbrush, courtesy of China's famously lax child labor laws. But questionable ethics aside, it is functional, and my teeth aren't getting any cleaner either way. Wiring it up is dead simple, ground to ground, RX on the adapter to the TX on the board, and vice versa, just like every other serial device, assuming you resist the urge to overthink it into oblivion. And leave the VCC disconnected, and if you mess it up, it just doesn't work. No errors, no warnings, no magic smoke, just a quiet waste of your time, kind of like the rest of this video. Now let's see if this experiment leads to useful communication or just another lesson in humility. Who am I kidding? I don't have humility. Now to actually communicate with this, I'm using the code that should be too embarrassing to upload to GitHub. Fortunately, shame isn't a burden I ever had to carry. And miraculously, it actually works.